Before you took your first breath, before your name was ever spoken, before your parents even knew you existed, God already had you in mind. That is not poetry. That is not wishful thinking. That is a truth so deep, so personal, so powerful that once you truly grasp it, nothing about your life will ever look the same again. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share could be exactly what you needed to hear today. Purpose didn't start with you. Most people spend their entire lives searching for purpose, trying different careers, different relationships, different versions of themselves, hoping that one day something will finally click. But here's what the prophet Jeremiah discovered. Purpose doesn't begin when you find it. Purpose began before you were even formed. God spoke to Jeremiah and said something extraordinary. He said, "Before I shaped you in the womb, I already knew you. Before you entered the world, I had already set you apart. Before you could speak, I had already given you an assignment." Let that sink in slowly. Not after you proved yourself, not after you cleaned up your life, not after you figured everything out. Before. That means your story didn't begin with your worst mistake. Your story didn't begin with your greatest achievement. Your story began in the mind of God long before you arrived. What it means to be known. When God says, "I knew you," He isn't talking about simply having information. He's talking about intimate, intentional relationship. He's saying, "I recognized you. I chose you. I had you specifically in mind." Not because you were perfect, not because you had it all together, but because God, in His sovereignty, decided that you would carry a specific purpose that no one else on earth could carry the exact same way. You were not a coincidence. You were not a mistake. You were not an afterthought. You were a deliberate design. Set apart, and why it feels so lonely. Now here is the part that most people skip over, and it might be the most important part of all. God didn't just say He knew Jeremiah, He said He set him apart. To be set apart means to be consecrated, reserved, marked for a specific holy purpose. And if you have ever felt like you don't quite fit in, if you have ever felt too intense, too different, too deep for the spaces you're in, I need you to hear this. That feeling might not be rejection. That feeling might be separation. Because what God sets apart doesn't always blend in. What God marks for a greater purpose often walks roads that others simply don't understand. Jeremiah didn't fit the crowd either. He wept, he struggled, he wanted to quit more than once, but he couldn't, because the calling inside him was like fire in his bones. And if God has placed something in you, you already know what that fire feels like. If this message is already speaking to your spirit, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. It helps this message reach people who are waiting for exactly these words. Now let's keep going, because it gets even deeper. The purpose was bigger than his fear. When God told Jeremiah his purpose, Jeremiah's first response was deeply human. He said, "Lord, I can't do this. I'm too young. I don't know how to speak." And maybe you've said something similar. "I'm not ready. I don't have the right background. I've made too many mistakes. Someone else would be better for this." But God's response to Jeremiah's fear was not sympathy, it was authority. He said, "Do not say you are too young. Do not say you are not ready. I will put my words in your mouth." God doesn't call you because you are fully prepared. God calls you because He prepared you before you arrived. The qualification isn't in your resume. The qualification is in the one who assigned you. Your pain has a purpose.
Some of you right now are in a season that feels like punishment. You're isolated, you're waiting, you're watching others move forward while you feel stuck. But I want to reframe what you're going through. Some battles are not punishment, they are training. Some delays are not denial, they are preparation. Some isolation is not rejection, it is consecration. God is not ignoring you in this season. He is forming you in this season. There is a difference between being forgotten and being refined. And if God knew you before the womb, then your current pain does not have the authority to cancel your future purpose. People cannot unmark what God has marked. Circumstances cannot erase what God authored before you were born. You were shaped with intention. Before you had a voice, God had an assignment for it. Before you had fear, God had mapped your future through it. Before you had a name, you were shaped with intention. And this means even your sensitivity has purpose. Even the struggles that have broken you open have direction. Even the things about yourself that feel like weaknesses are part of a design that is bigger than your current understanding. You were not built for ordinary. You were built for something that requires the specific combination of everything you've been through, everything you carry, and everything you are. Jeremiah didn't choose prophecy. The calling chose him. And when God chooses you, silence eventually becomes impossible. This is what God is saying to you today. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are not too late, too broken, or too far gone. The same God who called Jeremiah, who took a young man who said, "I can't speak," and turned him into a voice that shook nations, that same God is speaking over your life right now. He is not reacting to who you've become. He designed who you were always meant to be. So walk in that. Stand in that. Stop apologizing for the depth of what God placed inside you. You were known. You were chosen. You were set apart. Now grow into what heaven already decided. Before you go, if this message encouraged you, please subscribe to this channel so you never miss what God might be speaking through this space. Like this video and share it with one person today who needs to be reminded that they are not forgotten. Every share helps this reach someone who is ready to hear it. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one.